Hello everyone, you are watching ITV Gold and I am your host Aditi Lamba. As we say on the show today on Inside Scoop, we love to have very prominent South Asian personalities that not only represent the South Asian culture but also empower the young generation, which is what India is looking forward to. It is an honor and privilege today for me to have a very empowering young South Asian anchor and actor, someone who's done so much work in the industry, someone who's a singer, someone who's a passionate Indian. We have with us Ms. Shruti Haasan. Thank you so much for being with us on ITV
Gold.
Thank you
for having me.
Shruti, you are someone that has sort of created her own path regardless of what your own family background was. It wasn't about who your mom and dad were. It was more about what you wanted. So, when we look at your journey as an actor, as someone from the film industry, as a singer, as a passionate, social person, as someone who now also is politically sort of affiliated.
Not really. No.
And I also heard about that. So how do you look at India right now, Shruti? And at this point, when you are here for the FI India Day Parade, what does it mean for you to be Indian?
Well, it's something that has been changing over the years.
Right.
And I think we still have some issues that we haven't addressed, which still are yet to be addressed, which are very basic issues like women's safety and sanitation. But on the other end of things, we're also truly a global economy, and we really have an amazing growth rate,
right.
So it's really interesting. There's a mix of freedom, and on the other side there's a bit of regression which we're still trying to overcome.
Right.
But overall I think it's positive and it's moving towards the right direction.
So when you have these views and when you look at your work in the industry, for all these years that you've worked in the South Indian industry, in the North Indian industry, in the entire
Indian industry,
the Indian film
There's
industry.
No need to split it up so
exactly,
much.
Totally. And when you work also as a singer, how much of your culture sort of has influenced that work? And
what do you mean?
How much of the Indian culture, being raised in India, having those emotions about it, how much do you think your work was influenced over these years?
So as I was saying, India is truly a globalized country now.
Right.
So I don't think any of us can just say that we are truly Indian or truly Western, as they call it. We're really a mix of influences. And I think Indian cinema very much, depending on the subject, of course, I think Indian cinema very much now touches upon these various aspects.
Right.
Nobody's just traditionally Indian anymore. But having said that, we're rooted in our traditional values, and that's very evident in the film and in the music and everything that we do. And for me, as a modern Indian, I think it is about that balance. I grew up learning Hindustani classical music, watching Indian films, idolizing Indian actors and artists, really, and also growing up loving Madonna and Kurt Cobain and having all of that, and loving Hollywood films. So I think we're all a product of both of these environments, and that's what makes it really interesting.
Yeah, as I say, the true amalgamation of the two cultures,
the
as I
East
always
and the
say.
West.
Yes, I totally agree with that, and I think I actually fall in that bracket.
I think
myself.
all of us do.
Right?
Yeah.
So, when we are looking at you being here today for the 38th Annual India Day Parade, this is one of the biggest events that is there for Indians.
It's exciting.
Yes, it's huge. There are going to be hundreds of thousands of people on the streets of Manhattan.
Yes.
You're literally going to see India come out alive here.
Yes.
What made you support this, and what do you aspire to gain out of this experience?
I'm just really happy to come here and interact in a completely new environment with Indians outside of India.
Right.
And also I think it's going to be amazing for everyone in New York to see this sort of Indian flavor really come out in its full glory.
Right.
And I'm really honored to be representing India in a sense. So I'm really, really happy to be here.
Coming here with your father and,
Yeah, which was completely by chance because nobody told him or me. And
No
we ended
way.
up speaking on the phone and he's like, listen, are you going to New York? And I was like, yeah. So it's kind of like a by mistake family trip as well.
No way.
So it's really good. Yeah.
Oh, everyone, you heard it from her. This wasn't even planned.
No, so they asked him separately and then they asked me separately.
Wow.
And it was just like randomly dad and daughter going there together.
So when you have, your dad and you have Sir Vivian Richards and so many other personalities with you, and you come here and you're interacting with the Indian American community, what are the sentiments you have right now? What are the feelings?
I think I'm just really interested to see the vibe of the Indians who live here. I always find it interesting how the NRI population, be it in England or America, really kind of stay rooted to their community, but also kind of live in this kind of global work world and life, you know, so it's really interesting.
So Shruti, right now you are working on some very special projects. You are leaning towards music a lot more.
Well, a lot more.
As compared to the film industry. You were just, right before this interview, you were saying, you know, I've given 10 years to the industry. I want to give more to music. So tell us a little bit about this project. I think it's really exciting. A lot of young girls look up to you for music.
I write in, thank you. I write in English, which I found hard to express myself in India, though we have like a large Indian English speaking population. So this is something I'm working on in England, actually, my music, and I'm really, really excited about it.
What has inclined you to sort of create more in music, and what do you aim to do through this project?
Well, for me, I started out as a musician, and I always say I became an actor by mistake, but not really by mistake, because it was always around me, and it's like the best mistake I made in my life. I really enjoy it, and but music has always been an integral part of how I express myself as an individual.
Right.
And I've always said, like, for the past 10 years, I've been working one movie after the other, and people have always asked me, when are you going to do music? When are you going to do music? And I was like, I will. And now I'm fulfilling that promise, really, to myself.
So many young Indians look up to you. You really sort of epitomize the young Indian woman, you know, both North and South India. I think it's very important to reflect on women such as you that sort of are looked by everyone. You know, you sort of amalgamated everything.
Thank you.
What would you like to tell those women right now?
I think just be yourself, in whatever that means, because I think today in society we are under the pressure of a lot of other opinions. So I think it's very important as a woman, as a person, but specifically as a woman, to be aware of what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with, who you are and who you want to be, and to be really brave about that. Well,
thank you so much for being with us on ITV Gold. Any messages out to all our viewers and all your viewers there?
I love you. Thank you for loving me.